What's going on?
Not much. I actually feel really nice.
Good.
I haven't really done anything since Saturday when I saw you.
Okay.
Oh, I will tell you this, and this is a big thing. I helped install a 300-pound paver.
Okay.
With my crew.
And the 300-pound paver is just one stone?
Yes, it's one 36-inch by 36-inch high-density concrete paver, and it took 3 of us to lift it. And the fact that I was able to assist in lifting it from the bottom into the truck and then lifting it from the truck into the area we were installing it, without it hurting, as soon as I put pressure on my arm, that much pressure especially, was a real big deal for me because I immediately expected it to be just
so if I have my feet right here, roll back for me. And then my knees are right there. Like if you bring your hips up, do you think higher than that?
That's good right there.
Okay. So if I come down, I'll be fine. But like bring your hips up. There you go. Now for you, do you need like the entire stack of those blankets?
Probably.
You tell me.
Yes.
Okay. So my knees are a little bit, my legs are just a little bit too straight. So just hang out where you are.
Okay.
Go ahead. You can lean your head back. I'm going to pull my feet in just a bit. Is that too much?
No. Can you move your knees in just a little? Just
Okay.
a tad? Yes, right there.
Is that too much?
No, that's good.
So I'm squeezing my adductors just a little bit to be able to hold that position. I wasn't exactly sure what position I'd have to be in to get this to work. How's that?
That's good.
There we go. Is that the spot?
It is right now.
Because the ball pads on my feet, I was getting like a little tired, just from like using my foot like on this outside. It was starting to cramp just a bit. And then do the knees feel like they're too pointy? You hang out where you are. I'm gonna use my amazing abs to lift myself.
Okay.
And if we put your hands behind your head a little bit. There you go. How's that right there?
Oh, that's nice.
So more right side or left?
That's good right there, honestly.
Okay. More.
The right side for sure.
Right there is better?
Yeah.
Okay. What if I lean more into the right side?
That feels nice.
Okay. Right there?
Oh, yeah. It's like sharp, but not too sharp.
Now, if I were to take the pillow and like double it up and lift your head higher, does that do anything good?
Yes.
Okay, hold on. So I gotta figure this out with my abs here. How's that?
That.
Okay. And if I leave you there and come down.
There we go.
There we go. Is that a good spot? Okay. And there's nothing about my body position I need to change?
No, you're good.
Okay. So tight muscles, and this is interesting. So students, when they talk to me, they'll be like, how do you know to work this spot or that? And 9 times out of 10, even therapists who are just doing Swedish, working in the deep tissue, figure this out. You can start to feel, like if I'm working on my leg, you can start to feel it's like, oh, this is fine, this moves. And then all of a sudden it's like, what's this? And it feels dense, tense, tight. The muscle fibers don't feel like they're moving.
Yeah.
Now, there may be some illusion about what I'm feeling, because could people have like intense pain and the stuff still moving? Yes, because it's mainly like nerves. It's a very inexact science, and I'm always like asking people for feedback. When I hear, like if you go to a massage therapist and you say, hey, I'm doing this and it hurts. If that therapist doesn't get more information, my first thought is there something going on with the rhomboids? Because the rhomboids pull the shoulder blades together.
Interesting.
In other words, it's like, oh no, she's having pain in her elbow. Why would her rhomboids cause pain in her elbow? You see what I mean?
Yeah.
Because it's like when you say that they're pulling the shoulder blades like this, I'm thinking about what pulls the shoulder blades together.
Yeah.
And I knew what's wrong with you. We worked together. I knew it was
Yeah.
probably the elbow, but it's like just like manner of thinking. The other thing is, one of the things that I thought about, and I continue to like look at this in my work and teaching, is the challenges of walking upright. And I've talked about this and seen a couple students just like glaze over if I talk about human evolution to like being bipedal.
Yeah.
So I look at the upper body and the lower body is relatively the same. But these structures have changed over time because we're using our hands and arms in a different way. We're not quadrupeds.
Yeah.
But it's some of the same structures. And then it's like, why is she having, and it's like, okay, is there something actually wrong? In other words, manually, the doctors, scans, MRIs, have you torn tendons or muscles or something that's causing this? Or what I often see is like students totally understand in the lower body, if somebody does squats and they're having like low back pain, it's like, okay, well, they're working their legs. And then what they're doing is they're stabilizing their spine using all of these muscles because they have to be able to stack weight. So, because if this is all soft and just moving around while they're lifting all that weight, it's going to like collapse basically.
Yeah.
But then you're getting multiple muscle groups to like stabilize this so that the legs can, lift them up and down. I think the same thing happens when you're using your arms, and I see people do this. They'll do squats, for instance, and they come in with neck pain. And they're like, why? And I'm like, because your cervical spine is trying to stabilize that bar. And they're like, communication is the thing I have to stress. But my suspicion is that the therapists are actively concerned because they don't want to be overly intimate with a client. They're actually, in a weird way, they're like afraid of connecting with the client. Like reading a comment thread where they're complaining that it's just not the same when you're not like skin on skin, like for massage and oil. They were arguing about like hamstring and gluteal work with drape and cream and oil. And I'm like, no fucking way. I don't ever want to fucking receive that.
I appreciate not leaving here feeling like I got dipped in a fat of chicken fat.
It's like, I think there's a cultural box for massage with oil and nudity. When they say, it's like, I think they feel free because they're naked or whatever. And it's like, and it's fine. Like, I don't have any issues with nudity. I'm totally not puritanical. It's just, let's put it this way. If I could have the exact same outcomes from oil and nudity, I would still prefer to work on you clothed and not make you feel like you were dipped in anything. I assume that some of the core stuff is actually more the thoracic outlet, the cervical spine, and that little bit of like hump we talked about.
Yeah.
And then trying to release that. The problem was the students are trained to do like an hour session max. When I come in and said, hey, why don't we do 2 hours? And they're almost like, well, what do I do? In other words, the framework for the tools I was given in school don't quite fill this 2 hour time slot. And I'm like, well, we're going to give you some more tools. And then I go, can people relax more in 30 minutes or an hour? They're like, an hour. Can they relax more in an hour or 2? And they're like, well, I guess 2. And I'm like, what about 3? And they're like, well, but, and I go, if I gave you enough tools, would they relax more in 3 hours? And they're like, well, yeah, I guess so. But now the framework has changed so much that it starts to be strange to them. I knew that if I had worked on you the first time, like, okay, so you came in today, and fortunately, I'm like, okay, cool, she feels all right. It wasn't a heavy workload.
No.
But it's like, all right is like a great spot for pain management.
Yeah,
Like
absolutely.
10's hospital, 0's no pain. What's your pain at?
Me right now, probably a 2.
2. And 2 is like annoying, but it's manageable.
Yeah, 2 is like my everyday, like, all right, like, I slept fairly well last night. I didn't wake up with my hands being numb last night, which any night that I don't wake up with my hands being numb is wonderful.
Yeah.
Those are the days that I feel blessed to have.
And then having an okay day, do you mainly attribute the body work as the thing that helps you?
Oh, absolutely.
Then awesome.
Absolutely.
Then we've reduced your pain. The problem is, how would you have responded if we only did that one session, even if it was 3 hours?
Oh, I probably would not.
It almost feels like you threw a rock in the middle of a river, and it's like, yeah, you disrupted some shit for a second, but it's like it goes right back to what it was doing.
I'd probably be whimpering.
The multiple sessions, especially pain management, not just she has like, I don't know. I can see an office worker and they work sitting in a chair or something. I can work on their hips, and after one session, they're just like, oh my God, my life is different now.
Yeah.
And it's like, yeah, but they didn't have any injury. They just had chronic sitting down, not using their legs and hips or whatever. It's like, I work on both of those clients, but the ones that are more interesting are you. The more interesting, and when I say that, what I mean is, chronic pain is my bread and butter, and chronic pain, and the reason I record this is to be able to show the students what it's like. And, you know, like for them, it's almost, I think, I don't want to say appalling, but surprising that somebody would need that much work.
Most physical therapists that I've ever been to have been surprised at how screwed up my back is.
Yeah.
I had one lady tell me, you need about 2 more hours. That's the only massage therapist ever that was like, you need more.
Yeah.
But
if I had tried to force or rush, it feels like I would have just been bruising you.
Which I'm used to, but isn't the most productive.
No, even when when we did the subscap work, and you're like, yeah, there were like finger pad like prints or whatever, and I was like, it's not my intention.
No.
But you also have a high degree enough of like chronic pain that you're like, please.
I have a higher pain tolerance, so like, get in there.
Yeah, and to me, it's the edge. I talk about this with students, and if they're not someone who's had chronic pain themselves, they have a harder time understanding it. Because it feels like, and I use the word push lightly, you almost have to push them right to their edge. And it's like, if you can hold them at that spot just before they fall off, just before it's like, ow, too much.
Yeah.
If you can hold them there for some reason, it seems to reduce their pain levels. I don't know why exactly.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. The longer that I can keep your elbow in one spot, eventually, and that's when I know that it's time to move to a different spot, is because it'll hurt, and then all of a sudden everything will just release.
Yeah. And what do you think? More towards the elbow or towards the wrist?
More towards the wrist.
Tell me when.
That's good.
Right there? And then if I stack a little more weight, is that too much?
No, that's good.
Okay.
It's interesting the way you're sitting, my hand is pointing on its own.
Yeah. And it's because of the pressure in the forearm extensors, which is this side, it makes the fingers come out. And so when I'm in the flexors, normally it's like it kind of curls the hand in a little bit. But it really addresses a little bit of both.
I couldn't have done that on my own.
Yeah, the more tools, if I show students what we just did, like the sitting on the hip, they're just like, oh my God. But it's just cultural context. Like, I don't have any problem like working with clients and literally just snaking my body around them. But it's like, it's not what you do, it's how you do it.
That feels nice. That's very tender.
Is that too much?
Well, I wouldn't say that it's too much, it's just very tender.
Right there? What do you think? Towards the wrist or away?
Towards the wrist. Right there.
Okay. Towards the thumb joint or towards the palm?
Towards the thumb joint.
Right there. Now, can you gently move your thumb? There you go.
That's all I got.
Now, what happens if you like lift it at the palm almost?
What, my thought?
Look at my hand. There you go.
I'm trying.
I feel like we're thumb wrestling.
Hey, I'm generally very good at thumb
And then
wrestling.
what about these fingers? There you go. And I mean, the camera's not particularly focused on just this, but you can tell just how fucking jaundiced that shit looks. Look at that.
Oh, yeah.
Dude, it looks like Ghost. Like, compared to my fingers, they're all red.
Well, I am quite pale, but that's next level. Huh? Huh?
I feel like Simpsons. And then on the leg right here, do you think I need to go towards the wrist or the elbow, or is it just like slowly release pressure?
I'd say slowly release pressure.
Okay. And you guys can see the color change as this happens.
Oh yeah.
It's usually as I hold, it'll still.
Wow.
God, it turns so pink.
Yeah.
It's like redder than my hand was.
It's cool though because at first you can't really see it, and then all of a sudden it's like, Violet, you're turning violet.
Yeah. And I mean, this is just the texture in my pants.
Yeah.
But it's always hilarious to me because it'll leave like an imprint, like from the seam just on the
looks like a
pants.
labyrinth.
Yeah. As long as it's comfortable to the client, it's fine. But I just always think it's funny.
Okay, Robert, it's nap time.
The work is so relaxing. If I kind of like walk up and down right there, how's that?
That's good.
But this is crazy. He's using his feet. Oh my God. Nobody's gonna want that. It's like my hands don't hurt. My problem is using my thumbs to try to fuck with this Bluetooth controller. That's my issues in life.